The following is some behind the scenes footage from my time spent in Alaska this last month. I asked these experienced guys, Joe, Tim, and Mike, a bunch of different questions, and they have some great answers. This is unedited for the most part, so let's just dive right into it.
This is the first step to a lot of different adventures, hopefully, for you guys. You know, this is just the tip of the iceberg up here. And I've noticed a lot of changes happening with you guys and with guides hunting. I've seen it change guys' lives. They get involved and they have an experience. And I don't know, man, I think there's something in all of us that are here that is driving us to experience the next level of like hunting and whatever. And I'm excited. Most of the time, a bear is always moving. So it's anticipating the shot while he's moving is the biggest barrier for guys that are used to hunting elk and deer, because you're always like, dead stop.
Yeah.
With the bear, you're just kind of making sure you know how he's moving, where his legs are, and then just getting center mass, like back behind his shoulder. Because a lot of guys, they'll shoot one and it looks like, it'll get some on video, and you're like, whoa, he hit him way far back.
Yeah.
He's dead in the lungs. You have to be prepared for anything when you're hunting bears, but what people don't anticipate for is bear's reaction, because they don't react like an elk or a deer. They don't go, I'm bleeding, I gotta run away. They go, what the heck? Who am I gonna bite right now?
Spin, bite themselves.
Yeah, and then you instead of being like black out and being like, what the heck is happening? He's chomping around. You gotta reload your bow and just shoot him. Keep zipping. These guys are here to help, so ask them questions. They are very knowledgeable.
All right, Joe. Most underrated gear in Alaska, most overrated that you see amongst your clients?
I would say in this area specifically, people think too much about like being warm.
Okay.
They bring like heavy, warm gear when it doesn't get that cold. And too little would be rain gear.
Yeah.
Because it's always raining.
So like outer layer stuff.
We wear waders because there's no rain pant that can compete.
Good answer, dude. I love it. People focus on this too much and focus on this too little.
I think people lose their mind over rifles and optics and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think whatever you use well, bring that.
Most of your shots, even on brown bear, are not that far.
No,
Like what's like the average?
150, 200
Yeah.
yards. I would
So-
say sometimes it's closer, sometimes it's within 100 yards. So.
Yeah. So more just be confident with your rifle and stuff. Don't sweat it too much.
Yes, absolutely. I think underrated gear is like a good sleep system, good like bivy bag,
Oh,
combined
okay.
with a good mattress of some kind.
Yeah. So on any of the stuff you guys are spiking out?
Even on like a base camp style hunt, like for a brown bear, for a moose, getting a good sleep is everything. Keeps
Sure.
morale up and keeps you mentally in the game. And I think
Dude, I like that one because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it.
Well, you
and-
see now a lot of down bags. Like everybody is running a down bag, but the trouble is, even in a tent after 10 days, it's gonna be wet, and
Yeah.
the insulation starts to go once it's wet.
When they get like a couple nights of shit sleep, their attitude.
Definitely. Morale I'll say it like this: it's harder to bring morale up if you're getting bad sleep, if you're cold at night and waking up 10,000 times. So definitely having a system that you can get dry easily and keep dry. I think that's important. That's what I've noticed. It's really improved allowed me to stay in the game mentally.
Yeah, as you're guiding. Yeah, getting a good night's sleep's huge.
For sure. Even sometimes you're working on 3 hours of sleep, but if you can get a solid 3-hour nap, it's better than waking up every 20 minutes because you're cold.
Do you have any like recommendations on the sleep system front?
Not currently. I just have like an old Army surplus bivy bag, but I run it in the tent
Yeah.
and run everything inside the bivvy and zip it all the way up.
When I was
guiding a lot of backpack hunts with guys will bring stuff they haven't slept in yet.
Yeah.
Do you have that here?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'll have $20,000 worth of equipment on, and then they have a Coleman, sleeping
the
bag
cheap out on the
that
sleeping bag. Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, dude, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
All the fancy gear in
Yeah.
the world can't save you from, lack of sleep.
Sure. If you get a new one, even if you have to like sleep in it in your house,
Yeah.
make sure that shit's comfortable.
Yeah, just make sure you're comfortable. Like, even like little tricks like putting the Nalgene bottle with hot water in the bottom will dry your socks out, and stuff like that. Those
Yeah.
things, they make a difference. Mental side of things, I think, is so important.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, being as physically fit is and having the right stuff is very important. But you find people who are mentally tough, well, for whatever reason,
Yeah,
background,
power through.
personality, they're able to power through and not let the wind get to them, not let the rain get to them. I
Sure.
think those are the people that are ultimately successful.
Can you think of anything that you've noticed with the guys that don't have trouble powering through?
Being away from like all the stimulants that we have in our life every day,
Yeah,
they're like
yeah.
used to being away from that. Or
Yeah.
they're not like, you find that a lot of people who are on their phone or even just need to be on their phone a lot for work and stuff like that, they start to go a little bit haywire day 5.
It's hard for them to tolerate.
It's
being
hard
away.
for them to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
all that, like you're getting so much information today's day and age all the time, and it's hard for them to then just completely cut
Yeah,
that
yeah.
off. And
Yeah.
it makes their brain's just not used to it. And for a few days they're okay, but like day 5 and day 6, you can definitely notice a little bit more like, and it's just an extreme environment to begin with. So you're taking away a bunch of stimulants, adding other ones, and mixing it all together.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think being as, and it is kind of cliche, but I think it is important to be as squared away mentally as possible. It helps you stay in the game and stay fresh. So day 7, when you've been out there and you're all wet and everything, you're still just as focused, ready for the brown
Yeah.
bear and moose than you are on day 1.
Like any day it can.
Yeah, it's 30
switch.
seconds to be a hero.
It is interesting you bring up like the communication stuff, because one thing I notice is if once a guy is thinking about quitting, if he gets on an inReach or he gets on a phone,
Yes.
he'll find a good excuse.
It's the classic, my wife wants me home, so we're flying out.
Yeah.
And you don't know how many wives have wanted their husbands home. Whatever, stuff comes up, people have businesses to run, things like that. I just noticed that a lot with you could tell that being away from the communication and stuff really bugs a lot of people. And,
Oh, yeah.
And takes away from their experience.
Yeah. But it's kind of wild because you could be, from a practical standpoint, you can basically be the worst hunter. You can be loud, not be able to find anything. But if you make it through every hunt, it ups your success.
For sure.
Versus a
For
guy
sure.
who quits halfway all the time,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole physical fitness side of things as well that we don't have to get into, but I think that's important. Being able to not only just hike 20 miles in the backcountry, but be able to sit there or glass or have the wherewithal to last for that long
Yeah.
on a hunt.
So you guide for 6 months a year, right?
Closer to 10.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have much of an off season, but you stay in shape somehow outside of guiding. What do you do?
Work out 7 days a week. So.
Really, even here?
Oh yeah.
I thought you were bullshitting about
No,
that.
we work out 7 days
The
a
whole
week.
crew?
Oh yeah.
You guys
Mandatory PT.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, no,
That's
we have
impressive.
We have a little gym in the shop there. We lift car batteries and
Oh, okay.
punch bags of sweet corn.
Yeah. I got to see this, dude. Good
that
session
helps.
of Alaskan Guide Trivia.